station. The ISS currently is flying over the Atlantic Ocean and is on a southwest to northeast heading, whizzing along at 28,000 kilometers an hour. The contact today will be performed using the Amateur Radio Telebridge Network, a worldwide network of amateur radio ground stations that enable students to contact the ISS. ARIS is a consortium of ham radio volunteers from 9 nations that develop and operate the amateur radio station on the International Space Station. Some members of ARIS are the American Radio Relay League, the Worldwide AMSAT Radio Amateur Satellite Corporations, the Canadian Space Agency, European Space Agency, Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, National Aeronautics and Space Administration, and the Russian Federal Space Agency. The amateur radio ground station that will contact the ISS today is India Kilo 1 Sierra Lima Delta in Casale Monferrato, Italy, operated by Claudio Ariotti and his team. Thanks to all of you for your work on this today. In about 2 minutes, we'll have our contact. Our contact today is with Jasmin Moghbeli, Kilo India 5 Whiskey Sierra Lima, who will be operating OR4 ISS on board the International Space Station. Jasmin will be talking with students at La Salle High School in Torreon, Mexico. The ARIS manager for this contact today is Steve McFarland, VE3 TBD. At this time, we'll ask teacher Abril Esparza to tell us a little bit about La Salle High School and the students taking part today. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to La Salle Laguna High School, a place where curiosity knows no bounds. Nestled in the heart of La Laguna, our school stands out for its unique focus and integral formation. Our school, La Salle Laguna High School, an institution with more than 340 years of history in our region, has university, elementary school, and high school. It aspires to be a living force capable of contributing to the orientation of our society. Today, we are more than 400 people gathered here. Most of them are students looking forward to this experience with the space station and are interested in space exploration, astronomy, and the wonders of the universe. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Claudio, I'm going to turn it over to you at this point in time to give your last set of instructions as we come very close to acquisition of signal. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Brian, for your presentation. Briefly, our Telebridge station is located in northwest of Italy in Casale Monferrato Airport. And when T minus 30 seconds, I go to call Jasmin Moghbeli aboard the ISS today, operating with Oscar Romeo 4 India Sierra Sierra call sign. As soon as the signal will be loud and clear, I will invite the students to start with first question. For the student, please don't forget to say over, because this is a very important thing to coordinate the conversation between us and the astronaut. So, microphone back to you. We have 2 seconds to the contact. Okay, I'm calling now. Oscar Romeo 4, India Sierra Sierra. This is India Kilo 1, Sierra Lima Delta, Telebridge ground station calling for a scheduled ARIS contact. Do you copy, Jasmin? Over.
India Kilo 1, Sierra Lima Delta. This is NA1SS. Have you loud and clear? Help me, over.
Okay, Oscar Romeo 4, ISS, IK1, SLD. Good afternoon, Jasmin. Happy to meet you from Italy. For the first time, your signal is loud and clear. Are you ready for first question? Over.
Oscar Romeo 4 ISS is ready.
Okay, go ahead, school.
Okay, Jasmin, this is Extra Echo 2 India Sierra from La Salle School in Torreon. Welcome to Mexico. I pass the microphone for the first student. Over.
My name is Mian. What is the daily routine of work and activities of an astronaut, and how are they organized to perform scientific investigations? Over.
Yeah, we are scheduled down to 5-minute increments, very busy. From about 7:30 in the morning, we have a meeting, and 7:30 in the evening, we have an evening. And between those hours, we're scheduled, as I said, our prime task is to perform science, and we usually have someone on the ground who's familiar with the experiment helping to talk us through that. But we also have to live up here, so we also have to maintain the space station. We have to clean it. We have to take care of each other if anyone's not feeling well or sick. So because of that, we also have to do several other things throughout the day. Over.
My name is Andrea. How is the weather on the space station? When you return to Earth, do you have a different feeling in terms of climate and environmental systems? Over.
Andrea, the weather is very controlled up here. Around 30-40% humidity, temperature usually somewhere around 70 degrees Fahrenheit, about 21 or so degrees Celsius. And so it's very controlled. When I return to Earth, I will say we've been watching the weather up here and seeing the storms and things like that. And from up here, I've seen a couple hurricanes and they look kind of beautiful, but I know down on the Earth they can be very destructive. So it's a different perspective. Over.
My name is Carolina. What was the greatest sacrifice you have made to be able to be where you are now? Over.
Carolina, I think the greatest sacrifice has been to my family. I have two twin girls and a husband, and I'm away from them for half a year to be here. And also just throughout my time in the military leading up to coming to NASA, did a lot of deployments where I was away from friends and family. Over.
My name is Paola. Do you believe that life exists not only on Earth but also elsewhere in the universe? Over.
Dana, I do believe life exists. Humans are incredibly special. Just the fact that we can create something like the International Space Station and travel to space. But I do think there's probably life of some form. Up here I can see the universe is just so expansive and so vast. And to think that there's nothing else living out there seems unimaginable to me. Over.
My name is Stephanie. What are you most passionate about in your career as an astronaut? And what would you say to people who aspire to be one? Over.
Stephanie, I think something I'm really passionate about in my career is just the aspect of exploration and pushing boundaries. Every time we've done that, and we continue to do that up here with our experiments on the International Space Station, and as we venture back to the moon with Artemis, every time we explore and push the boundaries, we learn more about our home planet, we discover technologies that end up helping us, and I just think it's human nature to explore. Over.
My name is Paula. What has been the biggest mental or physical challenge you have experienced on the space station? Over.
Paula, I think the biggest mental or physical challenge, I'd probably say mental challenge, when we're scheduled, as I said, very detailed down to the 5 minutes, and if I fall behind on that, I get, very invested sometimes in the experiments we're doing. And the other day I was doing an experiment I really cared about and got behind schedule, and we had to cancel it for the day. And then to me, that's really hard when I feel like I got behind on something and caused us to not be able to do part of our mission. Over.
My name is Esteban. As a member of Space Station, what has been the most surprising moment you have experienced in space so far? How has it affected you personally and professionally? Over.
Esteban, I think one of the most surprising moments was actually when I first got to the International Space Station. We've trained probably hundreds of hours on the mock-ups on the ground, but it turns out when you look at something upside down or sideways, it looks completely different. And I first got up here, and I didn't even know where I was or which way I was going, and that to me was really a lesson on just how important perspective can be and how much things can change with a different perspective. Over.
My name is Roberto. We often hear about scientific research being conducted at the International Space Station. But could you share a personal moment that made you appreciate the beauty and wonder of space while living on the station? Over.
Roberto, I think it sounds silly maybe, but a moment for me that was really special was when I first got up here. There were 11 of us on board, and we were from 5 different countries. And just getting together and having a meal and sharing this moment of being in space, orbiting above the Earth, the views that we have, and sharing that with people from all over the world. But it felt like we were just brothers and sisters. Over.
My name is Ivana. My dream is to be able to work at NASA. I have been in several science and technology competitions twice. I am very interested in all the technologies, space, and undiscovered things. What could I do to get there? Over.
Ivana, I think definitely continue to do those science and technology competitions. Something I tell people is don't ever do something just because you want to work at NASA. Do things because you're passionate about them and you love them, and I think the path will define itself. Over.
My name is Nicolas. How does your perspective change as a human being when you see deep space? Over.
Nicholas, I wish I could describe to you when you look back on the Earth from here and see our planet, it is so incredibly beautiful compared to, the black with just a couple spots of light out there. And just being up here with, as I said, people from all different nations, it makes you value our home planet and value unity and harmony. Over.
My name is Angela. According to your experience, what are the physical and personal attributes that an astronaut needs to be prepared to go to the space station and return to Earth? Over.
Stella, that's a great question. I think a lot of people think about astronauts and they think about the technical expertise and that stuff, but something that's also really important is we're living with just a few other crewmates for long periods of time in a fairly confined area. We can't just go outside to get air when we want. We're kind of stuck up here together. So really something that's really important is being a good teammate and being a leader when you need to be a leader and being a follower when you need to be a follower. And of course, being healthy and strong are really important as well. Over.
My name is Daniel. What is the most powerful space rocket in the world and why? Over.
Daniel, I say for a long time it was the Saturn V, the rocket that brought the astronauts to the moon. But now we're in a very exciting time where we're developing a lot of new rockets to include the Space Launch System that NASA's developing, the SLS, as well as the Starship that SpaceX is developing. So there are a lot of really powerful rockets, more powerful than ever before, to bring us back to the moon. Over.
My name is Carlos. What sparked your interest in space and how did you become an astronaut? Over.
Lisa, my interest in space was sparked when I was just in elementary school. I did a book report on Valentina Tereshkova, the first woman in space, a Russian cosmonaut. And that is when I first decided I wanted to become an astronaut. And it took almost 30 years ago now, and I finally made it to space. And in that time in between, I studied hard. I studied aerospace engineering in college and in my graduate degree, and then joined the military and was a test pilot and eventually applied to NASA. Over.
My name is Joshua. How hard is it to get used to the lack of gravity? How long did it take you to get used to it? Over.
Joshua, it's amazing. When you first get up here, it is so overwhelming because basic things like going to the bathroom or getting around or eating food all seem very foreign to you doing it in zero gravity. It's a steep learning curve, but you quickly adapt and you learn that you could see things from different angles and how to anchor yourself down without gravity. But things as simple as unpacking a bag become very difficult when you don't have gravity to hold things down. Over.
My name is Keita. What sensation does your body feel when you leave and return to the Earth? Over.
Pedro, this is my first space flight, so I'm curious to feel when I return to Earth. But I will say that I have heard from others that when they're feel that
To everyone involved here today, we just shared a moment in history. Amateur radio station India Kilo 1 Sierra Lima Delta in Casale Monferrato, Italy, operated by Claudio Ariotti and his team, just contacted Jasmin Moghbeli, KI-5 WSL aboard the International Space Station. Today, she spoke with students at La Salle High School in Torreon, Mexico. Congratulations to all the students involved, including those in the audience. Please give yourself a big hand. And now for the International Volunteer Team of AIRS, including the radio amateur satellite corporations around the world, the American Radio Relay League, CSA, ESA, JAXA, NASA, and Roscosmos. This is Brian Jackson sending my best wishes to all of you in amateur radio terms. 7-3 from VE6JBJ. We are clear.
Thank you very much, Brian and Claudio. We are proud to be the first call from Mexico. I appreciate your support, Claudio, for your round. And thank you, Brian and Steve, for this happens.
Congratulations, everybody. Fantastic job today. 7-3 from VE6JBJ.
73.
73 to all from a Telebred station in Casale Monferrato, Italy. Ciao, ciao. And so, best greeting from Alessio and Mikol in the station.
Thank you, Brian.
Great, good job as well. Very well done. Yeah, very well done. Thank you. A hot sit on you now. Good. Take care. You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
Ciao, Steve.
Thanks again, Brian. Claudio.
Thank you.